Don't quit your RN job right away as soon as you've accepted your first psych NP position, because there's this little teensy weensy things that they forgot to tell us in nursing or in the NP program, that credentialing can actually take up to 6 months. You heard that right. 6 months, up to 6 months. Usually it's like 30 to 90 days, more like on the 90-day side. But my first job took 6 months for credentialing. So what is credentialing? Because we don't even learn about that in school, right? Basically, the insurance panels have to get you basically approved to see their patients, and they call it credentialing. You're credentialed to take patients that have insurance. And this process, for some reason, is so slow, ridiculously slow, especially if you're taking Medicaid. Holy cow, it's such a slow process. So thankfully I hadn't quit my RN job before I started my NP role, but they don't tell us that. So, we're used to starting a new job, you start right away, you get training, and no, credentialing can take months before you actually start. So you can accept a job and not even, like I said, start until months later. So, and that's the norm. That is like the norm, and we're not taught that. The other thing is resignation notice. Another thing we're probably typically used to is giving 2-week notice. No, a lot of contracts, they want you to give 30 to 90-day notice before you can quit. And a lot of these contracts, so for my first contract, I had to give a 90-day notice, and if I left any sooner in my contract, that they could report you to the board for patient abandonment. So check your contracts. If you know that it's not a right fit, make sure if you start it and you know it's not a right fit, give your notice right away. That way you're only stuck for those 3 months. Pay structures. So depending on the job, if you get a job in someone's private practice and you're doing a split, which I didn't even know that was a thing either, it's different pays. So you have your typical W-2, which is most of us with nursing jobs. Your 1099, which means you're an independent contractor. And then typically those payments, if you're a 1099 contractor, you'll get either a base pay, like per patient. Check your contract. Once again, are you getting paid even if the patient no-shows? Some of them will get you that way, that you'll have patient hours. So if you get a no-show, not necessarily you'll get paid. Also, it's a percentage. So some of them will do like a 70-30 split, meaning you're supposed to get 70 of what's billed and they keep 30%. So be careful, double check that. The other thing with those type of payment structures, you may only get paid once a month. Yes, once a month. So way different than getting paid every 2 weeks as well. So you bill, you see patients, and you might get just that check once a month as a 1099. Another thing with 1099 is your taxes are not automatically taken out. So you make sure you save money aside for your taxes, because you're not going to be very happy when tax season comes around and Uncle Sam comes knocking on the door. So just one episode of things that they did not teach us in NP school. And don't get me even started on private practice, as I'm exploring that. That's a whole nother thing they don't even teach us about, that I've had to learn myself. So anyway, drop what you were surprised to learn or what you have questions about, and let's get better as a community.